You are listening to the Michigan Business Network, and some of you are watching us on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Debra Levantrosser, and this is the Leaning Edge, where we talk about lean principles and what they're doing for the state of Michigan and beyond. And we are coming to you today from a very beautiful place in Michigan, and the city is?
Traverse City.
All right. And so with me right now I have Shawn O'Farrel. So Shawn is from Disher, and he is the team lead for technical services. So Shawn,
Okay.
tell us what you do exactly. What does that mean?
What does that
team
mean?
Lead?
Team lead?
Yeah.
So
well, first of all, tell us what Disher does.
Yep. So Disher is a product development services company. We do a lot of engineering services. It's a team of about 130 full-time engineers. We don't actually make anything.
So people hire you to design their products?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we started as a company, as a product development firm, dealing specifically with office furniture, automotive components, and then it organically grew into, hey, we really like working with your engineers. Can you find people like you for us? And so we spun into talent solutions and finding people. We got into manufacturing engineering, supporting operations and floor launches, and then we get into kind of the more consulting. It's kind of a sticky word, but it's more business solutions. That's what we call it.
Okay.
So things like lean, facilitation, training. We do a lot of. Right now, it's kind of interesting. We've done a lot of things called value stream. Well, we do value stream maps. But we also do a lot of leadership development,
nice.
and then we have a heavy focus on culture. So company culture.
So what is your role there?
So my role, I'm a team lead in manufacturing technical services group. So I do a lot of leadership with the team members that work in operations. So I'll coach junior level leaders and engineers in quality engineering, manufacturing engineering. I go communicate and talk with different accounts or customers that we support, and that. And then support any way we can.
Awesome. So we're at the conference. You are a presenter.
Yep.
You've already had your session.
Yep.
What we call active learning sessions, because we require the sessions to be interactive, not just a talking head. So I've talked with some people who attended your session, and they said it was great.
Oh, awesome.
So tell our listeners and our viewers a little bit about what was the topic, what was the title, what did you hope that attendees got out of your session? Sure.
So the topic was on hiring lean leaders and focusing on culture fit. So what we find, especially when we help and serve our customers, is that they have a tendency to want, in this market, to find someone to fill a gap and really focus on skills, and not really so much talk to the need to link technical skills and let's say lean skills with the culture of the company. So it's kind of a touchy subject, and we took the approach of saying, okay, we like our culture and we like to promote it with everyone around us, so how can we communicate that? And so we talked about our 10 core building blocks on building high performance culture, and filtered that through the hiring practices that go into hiring lean leaders.
So you were trying to give advice to companies who are implementing lean and should hire people with certain characteristics.
Yes.
And look for those. Did you talk about interviewing techniques, or how do you know that somebody has a characteristic? So for example, the keynote speaker this morning was talking about cleaning toilets, and he said in our interviews we ask people, and we say, how do you feel about cleaning toilets? And if their reaction is, no, I'm not going to clean a toilet, then his reaction is, well, you're just not going to fit in here, because everybody has to do everything. And so is that kind of what you're thinking about?
Yeah, and to kind of put words to that, what he was getting at fundamentally was, we asked the question, why, how do you do with cleaning toilets? It talks to a why. Why do we want to hire someone that is okay with doing that? And there's a bit of a humbleness to it. There's a bit of service. There's a bit of, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and get it done. It's more organic to the culture that they're looking for at Micron. And in my session, I speak to that, and what what we talk about is you need to understand what your why is. You have to understand what kind of culture you want to build, and you need to have a framework of developing questions that allow you to filter candidates for that why. Because if you don't have alignment fundamentally with the individual that you're bringing into your organization, they're probably not going to stand the test.
But what if you don't have the luxury of that?
Yes.
I mean, the job market
Yes.
is tough.
Yes.
It's hard to find
Yes.
people who want to do the jobs that are open.
That's true.
So what if you can't find somebody who has those characteristics? Do you, is there like a list of must-haves and then a list of nice-to-haves, or what and then what if you can't find anybody who has the must-haves?
So that's a great question. It really depends on the organization and what you really desire. Having those must-haves and having the want-haves, you have to have those lists. But I was taught very early on in my career that it is always better to wait for the right candidate versus to hire the wrong fit. Because once you've done that, you've made an incredible investment in onboarding, and you have to balance that.
But it's not always possible to be right 100% of the time.
That is true. That is true. And that's why it's very critical to have really, really concise and clear metrics and standards on how you go about bringing on the kinds of people that meet the why. And if you're process driven and you have repeatable good results with others, yeah, you're right. It's not a guarantee.
Yeah,
it's not locks. It's not a perfect.
I admire you for taking on this topic, and we're going to talk more to Shawn O'Farrel about this topic at a later date. But for right now, we're going to have to say goodbye.
All right.
And thank you so much for being on the Leaning Edge.
Yep.
And you are listening to the Michigan Business Network. This is the Leaning Edge. I'm Debra Levantrosser, and we'll be right back.